With the announcement of the T1 Worlds 2025 bundle at MSI and preview season of Vendetta underway, Riftbound is being exposed to an even greater audience than before. Whether you're a League of Legends veteran looking to play your main champion, a TCG enthusiast looking for a new game, or a poor soul being dragged in by your friends, Riftbound has a lot for you to enjoy and play with. For those of you who have never heard of Riftbound before now, here's a quick overview of the game. Your board can look something like this. 39 cards in your main deck, your champion legend, your chosen champion, and 12 runes. In total, your main deck is 40 cards with the chosen champion counting towards that. The primary game mode of Riftbound is 1v1, in which you and your opponent choose a battlefield to play on. It varies on the format, but typically you will select from one of 3 battlefields. Before revealing battlefields, you and your opponent will randomly decide who gets choice of turn order, be it through dice roll, coin flip, rock, paper, scissors. After reveal, turn order is decided and 4 cards are drawn. You can put up to 2 cards from your hand to the bottom of your main deck to draw the same number again, otherwise known as mulliganing. After all starting steps are done, the first turn player will begin. If you've ever seen a Riot Learn to Play card, this is where you need to know your ABCDs. Awaken, beginning, channel, draw. Awaken refers to rotating your card to the unexhausted position, or ready. Beginning refers to any effects that occur in the beginning phase, like scoring, a hold point, and battlefield effects. Channel refers to the act of channeling 2 runes from your rune deck. And finally, there's draw, in which you draw a card from your main deck. During your turn, you can play cards by exhausting runes to add energy equal to the cost listed on the card. Some cards have a secondary colored icon indicating the power or color of rune that you need to put at the bottom of your deck to pay for. This is known as recycling. Units will come in exhausted to be readied at the start of your next turn or with spells and abilities. The goal of the game is to score points by conquering or holding battlefields. To do so, you need to move units to one of the battlefields, which will exhaust them. To decide control, a showdown is open no matter what, and at the end of a showdown, when you are moving into a battlefield and you have units left there, you will score a conquer point if you have not scored on that battlefield this turn. Hold scores come from having units on a battlefield at the beginning step of your turn. Showdowns are periods where you and your opponent can play cards with these words on them. The interaction can be summarized into this image, but basically you can treat it as multiple rounds of card interaction to determine if your units can win the showdown. Cards without these keywords cannot be used in a showdown, so keep in mind of that. Reactions can be played in response to any ability that can trigger a chain, while actions can only be played when you have focus in a showdown as per this image. Final victory score is at 8 unless something alters it, and to score the final point, you need to score both battlefields in a turn or hold to the final point. If you hold to 7 and conquer to 8, this also counts for the final point. And as always, any ability that gives points can count for the final point as well. Now, this is a rather condensed explanation, and showdown and ability chains really deserve their own independent video, but it's enough for the rulebook that comes with starter decks, so it's enough for you to understand before you get into the game. Speaking of, how do you start playing? Starter decks. Like in most TCGs, these are some of the easiest ways to get into playing Riftbound. They present as a beginner-friendly way to learn the game mechanics by simply being able to pick up the starter deck and play it with your friends at home. Proving Grounds is also a worthwhile pickup because it provides 4 decks and encourages you to play with friends in Riftbound's other game modes like 2v2 and free-for-all. My recommendation for new players is to always start with some sort of ready-to-play deck if you're brand new to card games and you're having to explore through the rules of the game on your own. Otherwise, you'll be stuck trying to comb through a bunch of cards to find a cohesive deck, and then it just becomes a mess before you even start playing. If you're watching this video before Vendetta releases, my recommendation is to pick up a Vex deck from the Unleashed set and to give it a try. It's a really simplistic deck that rewards you for primarily focusing on one battlefield. If you're watching this after Vendetta release, typically, you're going to be looking for any starter deck bundle that you'll have. In this case, for Vendetta, we have the Shen and Zed bundle. So, you can always bring a friend along for the ride. Another thing to note is that a local game store that is official retailer of Riftbound typically will have demo decks. So if you don't want to make the leap before trying it out, try contacting your local game store and ask if they can demo it for you. It doesn't hurt to ask, and it can help build a rapport with your local game store. Nexus nights. These are your local casual game nights. If you live in the city, the odds of having one within a quick drive is pretty high. The idea is to have a casual event where players can go and play with opponents and have a good time. If you're brand new and you're not sure how everything works, your local scene should be more than happy to explain cards and interactions to you. This is the time to bring out wacky decks, try different champions and legends, and get to really know your community. In addition, given that Nexus Nights are at the local game store, this is a great time to pick up new cards and try trading with your local players. As a warning, I know of some stores that are unusually strict with trades if you're doing it with cash. So always check with the local players to avoid unwanted attention. Nexus Nights also come with promotional packs that are a great way to start your own personal collection, and you can potentially snag the promo chase card to flex on everyone. It is important to know that any event that calls itself a skirmish is not a casual Nexus Night event. Keep an eye on the event name, as it's pretty important to know whether or not the players are going to help you out. I've seen a number of new players accidentally enter skirmishes because they think it's a standard casual event. Let's not make that mistake. Online. Now, this is for the people who are unable to go to Nexus Nights but still want to learn and play the game. Playing online is completely feasible, though if you ever do intend to play in person, just kind of be aware of any of the automation that is in the online simulators, because you do need to know how to do them in person. Most people play via one of two simulators, RiftAtlas or TCG-Arena. Both of these are in-browser websites, with RiftAtlas having more targeted automation and features for Riftbound, while TCG-Arena is a little more manual because it has to serve a larger audience. There's arguments for both, but if you want a client-based software, I can also recommend Riftlite. This is technically just both RiftAtlas and TCG-Arena combined into one client, but with this you can track your games and replays across both sites. Now, realistically, you should not be diving into matchmaking on these sites if you are completely new to TCGs and Riftbound. Instead, I recommend that you join the Riftbound community Discord and start with asking for people who can help teach you the game. In addition, there are rule question channels, deck-specific channels, and a whole host of resources and people willing to help you get into the game, all in one nice server. Number 4. Pre-Rifts. These are a rather unique sealed event that only occurs before the release of a new set, but it's a great place to learn the game for the first time, as well as pick up new cards. You'll be given a pre-rift kit containing a legend and a card set alongside 5 booster packs of the set that is coming out, and you'll use that to construct a 25 card deck that belongs to up to 3 domains. Afterwards, you'll duke it out with others and try to win with the cards that you've pulled. Pre-rifts are some of the more interesting events that you'll ever attend, and while there's no proof, pre-rift kits have been known to be particularly lucky in terms of rare, overnumbered, and signed cards. So it's always worth it to spend a few hours exploring the new set with your community. Now, you may have noticed that all of these involve you actually playing the game with other people. I've talked about this before, and I'll continue to hammer it in any video that relates to gameplay, because it's just that important. There is no replacement for playing Riftbound if you want to learn the game. Reading the rules, watching videos, and looking at deck lists mean nothing if you don't play the game. You need to experience the interaction and mechanics for it to make sense. Losing is nothing as long as you're learning, so honestly, in your early days, just focus on learning the mechanics and understanding how you go through it. It's okay to lose as long as you're learning. Soon enough, you'd be in this position, teaching other new players how to play and recommending cards for them. Now, if you're interested in more Riftbound content, I'll have a playlist linked on your screen, as well as some channels that I recommend you look at once you've learned the basics of the game. It's extremely rewarding to master a color combo and its legends to the best of your ability, so don't be afraid to explore all the new legends and playstyles that might interest you.